And then the jackal shows up, who Johanna told us was evil because his mother was a lady of the evening.
Yeah.
And he shows up and he's like, my mother was a lady of the evening. I gotta kill Shannon Elizabeth.
And slice her on her boobs.
It's time to hack the movies. Today, we're talking about tapes with Tony and Crystal and Johanna.
Talking about tapes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking About Tapes. And oh my God, it's Crystal without Newt.
Yes!
And Johanna from Casilla versus the Pod Monster. Hello.
Hello, Tony.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
By the way, Casilla is our podcast. I think we got to remind our fans that this show now has a podcast feed that you can get at hackthemovies.com or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm pretty sure it's on all platforms.
Yeah, I saw a few comments that said my facial expressions are really distracting, so that way you're not distracted
If
anymore.
you're distracted by, because a lot of people are like, man, that show's good. I just don't want to look at Crystal or Johanna. I mean, if the camera was just on me, they'd be fine.
Yeah, they want to see you.
But they're like, I don't like the parts where they show Crystal and Johanna. But now you just listen to it. Hopefully you like their voices.
They don't. They don't.
I apologize.
You can hear her from another state. Cool.
So if you don't want to be distracted by their facial reactions or my big muscles, you can just go to the podcast feed.
Where?
I actually did personal training this morning and the dude killed me. My legs hurt so much.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway, we are here to talk about 13 Ghosts. This is me and Johanna were visited by Crystal. This is our trip going backwards between the Dark Castle Entertainment's big 3 remakes, even though Ghost Ship wasn't really a remake. 13 Ghosts built off the popularity of House on Haunted Hill. They're like, all right, let's remake another Nick Castle classic. And I think we all know the original and love it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I watched it once. I can't remember anything.
I just watched this one. Sorry.
I didn't know there was an original until
Yeah.
I literally saw it. I was like, oh shit, I actually want to watch that.
I know I've seen it at least once. I couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about. Whereas the House on Haunted Hill original, I can tell you a lot about.
Yeah.
The 13 Ghosts, I do not remember. I'm sure it's fine. Didn't stick out to me.
Oops.
But this one I remember very, very well. Yeah, so let's we got some behind the scenes here by our intern Newt Wallen. So yeah, let's see. This is the first film of a major American studio with 3 Arab American leads: Tony Shalhoub, F. Murray Abraham, and Shannon Elizabeth. I didn't realize she was like Lebanese.
Yep. I had no idea either.
Yeah. Let's see. C. Ernst Harth, who played the Great Child. That's the ghost that looks like a baby.
Yep.
He apparently was a character in Trick or Treat who was also dressed like a big baby. He's a big visual effects guy. This is Steve Beck's directorial debut. Really knocked it out of the park, enough to secure his next film, Ghost Ship, which me and Johanna reviewed.
I love Ghost Ship so much.
And yeah, these are the only 2 movies he ever directed.
Hey, you know what? I rewatch them like all the time. So he won.
know,
He won
though.
in my book.
Johanna has all of Steve Beck's filmography.
Big fan.
Yeah. No, some people they have trouble transitioning from one field to another. I guess director didn't work out for him, but he's a big visual effects. I looked at his credits. He worked on a ton of shit I've watched. So,
nice.
So good for you, Steve Beck.
Yeah.
And
go,
yeah,
Steve
let's get into this wonderful movie. Well, when did you guys see this movie? I saw it when it came out.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh wait, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it on DVD.
I saw it in
afterwards.
theaters.
I have the DVD. Son of a bitch. Under my pink shirt. Can you grab the DVD? Oh, it's the old school. You got to open up the side there.
Oh, yeah.
DVD's not. It's actually in my DVD player.
Okay. Oh, there's the baby dude.
Oh yeah, this is the Great Child.
I wonder if that's the guy during the werewolf scene, the one that she was supposed to hook up with.
Was he dressed as a baby?
Wasn't he dressed up as a baby and they said he was kind of gross?
I think that is him.
Right?
Yeah.
I love Trick or Treat. It's
So do
actually
I.
my favorite movie.
Oh my God. I have the comic and everything. Like,
best
it's a
friends.
problem.
We're best friends. I love you.
I love the tagline, "Misery loves company." I don't think it makes sense.
It doesn't
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
I
make-
had no idea that was the tagline. How does that even work?
Listen. Steve Beck would fix his taglines later on.
Yes.
With See Evil, SEA.
I like that though.
Again, check out check out the Ghost Ship review. And if you don't have time to watch it, it's on that podcast feed. Anyway.
Oh my god.
So yeah, this movie starts off. There's like a team of people who are all in futuristic hazmat suits trying to capture a ghost in a spooky...
It's a junkyard.
Yes,
It
spooky
reminded
junkyard.
me of the what is it? Nightmare on Elm Street, the one with the dream fight. Yes, it is 3, right?
Yes. And Matthew Lillard's there, fresh off of Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
So much like early 2000s movies-ish.
Yeah.
But like he's great.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
He was the
so much.
main person I liked in this movie.
I love him and everything. Last thing I saw him in was Twin Peaks: The Return. His head blows up.
Ooh.
A homeless demon from another dimension realizes he knows too much and blows his head up.
I love it.
It's pretty awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, so he's there. He's like a psychic. He's kind of like... it's weird. His psychic powers are like he can feel like
I call him
ghosts.
more of a medium.
Yeah, maybe. But he also
become
gets
a
premonitions. So
Yeah.
he gets visions of the past and premonitions.
Only when he touches them.
Like,
But he also touched the ground and was able to feel everything.
Yeah.
So it's not
Like-
just a person. So
like-
that kind of contradicts itself in the movie.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
He touches the house, but he doesn't
nothing
feel
hap-
that.
yeah,
like he
nothing
doesn't
hap-
realize, but
You
when
know
he's at
what?
the junkyard, he touches the ground.
I think it's because all the Latin written all over the house.
ladies, this might
That
shock
was
you.
only if they're in a...
This might shock you, but
Shut
the
up.
movie doesn't make a lot of sense
Shut
sometimes.
up.
It doesn't?
Shut up.
No.
I thought this was perfect sense throughout the entire
We all
movie.
love this movie, but I think we can all agree some of it doesn't all
Look. There's a lot of things that didn't make sense in Ghost Ship that I made sense of, and you were like, "Did you make that up?" So
I'm like, are
It's
you the
interpretation.
I actually wrote Ghost Ship. Sorry, guys.
You were the ghost writer on it.
So yeah,
See
he's
evil.
he's the psychic medium. It reminds me of Christopher Walken in The Dead Zone when he touches people. And you know what? I'm lying. It reminds me of the Saturday Night Live parody of Christopher Walken where he parodied The Dead Zone. You ever see that one?
No.
Oh, the story is Christopher Walken, he like tried to get a tan and the machine short-circuited. Now he has the power to predict unfortunate events.
You're gonna treat yourself to a vanilla ice cream. You're gonna eat it too fast. You're gonna get an ice cream headache.
And then we see F. Murray Abraham, who shows up in his old-timey car to the ghost hunt.
He has a cane.
Like they couldn't, like there's just no subtlety in this movie.
No.
It's just like, oh, is this guy the bad guy? Well, here he is in his black old-timey car, and he looks like Dracula. There he is.
And the music too, as they're playing, I don't remember because so I saw this. I wasn't even a teenager yet. I was pretty young when I saw this, and I remember this being a little frightening. Watching this as an adult, oh my god, it's the corniest movie. It's such a little kid brain not realize how corny this is just by the music alone.
Yeah.
I was like, you might as well put fucking circus music on in the background.
So Matthew Lillard, Shaggy, touches the ground. And he's like, you said he killed 9 people. There's 40 bodies here. And he's like, oh, he killed 9 when he was alive. So now I'm wondering, like, what is this junkyard like during the day? Like, who works there?
Yeah.
Like, I need to get a part. My car needs like a part. Should I go to the junkyard? No, don't go to that one. There's a giant ghost. He likes to eat people. You might go to the other one. Like, how are they still in business when there's a ghost just knocking cars onto people?
Maybe they abandoned it.
How did the ghost even get there? He's like this crazy,
he looked
crazy,
like he looked like he might have worked there. He had like a name tag there.
So I don't know off the top of my head, but I know with each ghost there is a story with them.
I would love
Speaking
to
of which,
actually know that. That
the
would have been a
DVD
much better movie, to be honest.
It's all on Wiki, and I wish they would actually bring it up on
No.
screen. But
Forget Wiki.
oh my
I
god,
don't like that millennial shit. The DVD extra features, they have like a little featurette for every single ghost. It's like a little, and it's narrated by F. Murray Abraham, who is, what's his name? Cyrus something?
you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I actually watched that before.
Yeah,
Because
I
isn't it like kind of in the style of the movie a little bit?
I think someone uploaded them to YouTube also.
I watch that.
Yeah, because that was like one of my favorite things about this DVD. Like I went and I was like, oh, there's like a backstory to every single ghost. I'm like, that's actually kind of cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I forget off the top of my head what his backstory
I
is.
miss the extra stuff on DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss that.
But off the top of my head, I just remember the 2, and it was I think it's the princess. It's the nude girl, right?
Yeah. The Angry
Something
Princess.
like that, yeah.
She she was like vain and got like a lot of plastic surgery and then like ends up killing herself in the bathtub. So that's kind of where that one part with Shannon Elizabeth.
Oh, right.
But the whole bathtub scene, that's why I was like, oh, well, that's kind of funny. It's a connection. And then the other one, which is the jackal, the one with the cage head, he was born of a prostitute, and then also he like raped and murdered a lot of women. I don't know why those two stuck with me, but it did.
I don't know, the prostitute part plays into him being an evil monster. It happens. Anyway.
Not a great childhood, I guess.
So during this whole ghost setup thing, there's two goats.
There's ghosts.
There's ghost rights activists. No, there's two ghost rights activists there because ghosts have rights, I guess. I don't know. And they're like, what are you doing? You're bad. Stop being bad. And they're like, screw you. And then the guy mentioned something about 13 ghosts, and Matthew Lillard's like, what's a 13 ghosts? And I'm like,
you said 12.
Yeah, it's the title of the movie. I'm sorry. The official title is 13 and Ghosts.
It's like 7.
Yes.
Or Fant 4-stick. Oh, God, that movie. Anyway.
But yeah, she says, who are you to play God? And his response is, play is for children.
He's so evil.
So corny.
He's so evil. They should have he's like, hi, I'm Count Devil, man. Like, that's who I am.
There's a character later on that we're going to mention that they play way too much on like little hints that he's evil. And I was like, wow, can you show that in her face? Oh my
God. So one of the things that people remember from this, and I think this goes back to the original 13 Ghosts, because William Castle, I think I said Nick Castle earlier. I think that's wrong. Castle, he used to do a bunch of gimmicks with his movies. So House on the Hill had like a skeleton come down in the theater when the skeleton showed up. And I think 13 Ghosts was like 3D and you had to put glasses on.
When you see 13 ghosts, you'll be given a supernatural viewer like this, which will enable you to penetrate for the first time into the spirit world. It will let you see all 13 of our weird, wonderful, and wildly assorted ghosts.
Yeah, and the glasses, they look super cool. They have little flashlights on them.
They look like construction glasses.
Yeah, they really do.
I was like, oh, okay. And also, how many do they make?
Do you guys?
Is it just manufactured in a place?
Are you guys wearing ghost glasses right now?
Yes.
Are there any ghosts in here?
Just the one behind you.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. What's their name? Do I know them?
No.
Oh, okay.
They know you.
They know what you've done.
How do they draw out the ghost? How do they lure
There's
him?
a truck of blood. It's like assaulting. It's like one of those trucks that looks like it salts the ground, but instead of salt, it's blood.
Wait, so
how do you get that much blood?
Now,
oh man,
I gotta hold on. Was it human blood? Because now, have you guys ever seen Exorcist 3?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. The killer in that mentions how you could fit all the human blood in someone's body in like 13 little cups or something. That's like a big thing in that movie. So this truck is spraying gallons of blood. Like there had to be did F. Murray Abraham have like a genocide where he just stored everyone's blood? Or is this animal blood, which is easier to get, but you would still have to kill like
a lot of animals.
Like a lot of cows.
Yeah. Go to a butcher shop, you can get pig's blood and like by the gallon. So
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Don't ask why I know.
Also, shouldn't the blood be brown and not red because it's been out of a body for a long time? Like blood
You would think that. Yeah,
blood
yeah,
turns brown. You know what, guys?
You just said we shouldn't make sense of things, and then now you're trying to talk about blood.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sense of the movie 13 and Ghosts. What am I doing here? So that lures out the ghost they call the Juggernaut. And he's just a big, lanky dude. He looks like my friend Tom Shaw.
Oh, and they're also playing...
Don't do that to Tom.
What?
Tom looks nothing like him.
I mean, he's just tall. Tom is a handsome... Like, in life...
Wow, you are so mean to tall people. What is your problem?
This ghost is probably a handsome man like Tom. Shut up. Anyway.
That's why. Wow. So they're also playing a record, too. Because why not play a scary record?
It's like weird, scratchy, like Latin...
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't bring out a fucking Ouija board. Like, they're just going all the way. Like, scary music, ancient Latin language, blood. Like,
It's
let's
like
get
the
the Ouija
seance
board.
scene in Psycho Gorman when it's like, I don't know, let me just add everything possible into this and see what works.
But the kills in this are pretty good. A guy gets folded backwards and shoved into a trunk. That reminds me of the remake of The Blob. Someone died the similar way, and like a truck falls on someone. But yeah, so we get multiple casualties. 2 of them being the one ghost rights activist, and the other one being F. Murray Abraham.
Gasp.
I can't believe he's dead.
He's not going to show up again at all.
Oh no. It's so obvious. When
Even
you
as a kid, I was like, yeah,
like,
he's
there's
not.
no way that guy is like the most evil looking person in the world. He's not going to show up again.
He does look straight up decapitated, though.
Yeah.
Which they never explain.
A little weird that
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard's ghost-seeking powers couldn't tell he was still alive. Oh, spoiler. Anyway.
That's so true.
What are you going to do?
He touches him too and everything.
Yeah, maybe the answers will be revealed if we go on American Online keyword 13 Ghosts.
See if that website still works.
There is 13ghosts.com. They probably redirect back to Warner Brothers. A lot of times when those movie websites expire, they just redirect.
Unlike Space Jam, but now it's updated to the new one, and I'm not happy about it.
That movie looks so bad.
Look, the original wasn't that good.
Oh, we're
but
going to
I
review
still-
it.
Oh, I know.
We're reviewing it.
And I
Don't
love
worry.
it, but
The only thing that I thought was cool in the trailer for it is that they throw all the characters. So that was kind of fun to see him pick out the characters. But I'm like, why is
Crystal,
Clockwork Orange
Actually,
there?
no, this is relevant.
let's get rid of the fucking skunk and add Clockwork Orange.
So
Yes.
here's the rep.
I don't understand.
This is relevant because this is Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers and HBO Max have that thing.
Yeah, I don't see any 13 Ghosts in there. If that's Warner Brothers.
You know why? You know why? It's not on HBO Max.
It's not.
But you know what is on HBO Max? All the Batman movies. That's why you see the Danny DeVito Penguin and Mad Max Fury Road. That's why you see the War Boys.
Hey,
and there's a Game of Thrones planet. 'Cause
Wait a minute.
I did-
Weren't you in a Batman movie?
I was in the best
You were in the Batman movie?
Which is also on HBO Max. Oh, by the way, I've been wanting to say
Oh,
this.
Jesus. Why'd you bring that up?
Because I knew
If
he
you
was going
guys-
to, and I'd rather beat him to it.
No, here's the thing. If you guys send a copy of Dark Knight Rises to our P.O. box with the return address, I will sign it and send it back to you. So if you want your Dark Knight Rises DVD to be way more expensive, send it to me. Anyway, Space Jam 2 is a commercial for HBO Max because it includes only stuff you can find on HBO Max.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see they literally go by Game of Thrones world.
I saw all that. I didn't realize all of that. I thought it was like kind of cool putting everything in the universe, but then when you're saying it's only the ones on HBO Max,
It was weird. Like the Lego movies had a little bit of a charm to it, even though
I
they were
love the
kind of
Lego
doing, but they were
movies.
kind of doing the same thing.
but it was so
But now it's like this is like Ready Player One. It's like, oh yeah, it's all Warner Brother properties. Cool. Anyway,
Yeah.
we get the saddest opening montage ever.
Yeah.
It's actually an effective way to give us a lot of backstory without just talking.
It was really cool.
But then
actually.
they have like several scenes later where they repeat what happened. It's like, well, I think the montage got us up to speed then.
Yeah.
So it's like Shannon Elizabeth is playing with her brother and like, we're so happy and we all love each other and everything's great.
Even the mom and dad say they love you to each other.
Yeah, the mom and dad are just like, we love each other. Everything.
Stupid happy families. No one actually lives that way. No one has
reminds
a
me of,
happy childhood.
It reminds me of that Simpsons episode where they're watching a cop movie and they're making fun of like, oh yeah, 2 days until retirement. I'm going to get on my boat. We called it the Live Forever. And then the dude dies. That's what this feels like, where everyone's happy. It's like, okay. And then there was like a fire. And then apparently the mom like burnt to death and they're poor now, which I thought was a little weird. But I guess the mom was making most of the money there. Anyone else find that weird? Anyway.
Plot.
So they're poor, but they can still afford a live-in babysitter.
Yes.
Introducing Raw Digga, female hip-hop
Which
artist
was
Raw
so
Digga.
random.
This was her introduction to acting, and
say
then I looked up her
introducing.
acting credits, and I didn't see many.
No.
So
Literally says introducing Raw Digga. I was like, but I couldn't tell who she was in the beginning until halfway through the movie when she says she's the babysitter.
Yeah.
They don't mention who she is at all whatsoever or what she's doing there.
I think they do a little bit, but there's
I didn't notice it.
I thought it was only mentioned when they were talking to the lawyer.
yeah.
right?
It says like, "Oh, I'm not the wife."
Yeah.
But then it doesn't say who she is. You're like,
She's like, I'm the booty call. And like, oh,
That's
okay.
what I was thinking. I was like, all right, sweet booty
Hello,
call.
Tony Shalhoub's booty.
But also, why
booty
would
call.
they have a babysitter when there's Shannon Elizabeth, who's clearly old enough to babysit?
I think Shannon Elizabeth, we're supposed to buy into like she's like 16 or 15.
There's no way in
It's
hell
like,
you're
no.
playing
We've all
that
saw
one.
American Pie. We all know.
You're kind of hoping she was getting naked, and you
I do have a
fully
note on.
sexualize her.
I do have a note on here that her rack looks pretty great.
Woo,
I think we
yeah, it
all
does.
agree.
The boobs are fantastic.
Thank
in
you.
this movie.
Now you have to agree, so I don't get chewed up. I need.
Oh, I love boobs.
Okay, agree.
I can't agree with you.
Oh, son of a bitch! She's gonna screw us over. God damn it.
Boobs are great.
A lawyer shows up and he's like, "Hey, what's up? You know that creepy uncle you have?" And Tony Shalhoub's like, "Oh, the devil? Yeah, I remember I was related to the devil." He's like, "Well, he left you a family fortune. Here's a creepy video he did." And then this is not how video files work. When you hit play on a video file, they don't just pop up and then disappear for a couple seconds and then also pop up in the screen. Like, he could have just said, "Hey, here's a pre-edited video." It didn't have to be
Yep.
weird. And then F. Murray Abrams is in like a dark wizard play in an office, like he's like surrounded by artifacts.
It's the office in the glass house.
Yeah, and but he's like looks all creepy. He's like smoking in the dark. He's like, "Hello, Tony Shalhoub. It's your uncle, the devil. I'm so mad I never got to know you that well. You should come to my regular house." He might as well have said that.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh my God, we're going to live in a really rich, big house in Willow Grove." Did you catch that?
I did.
They said Willow Grove, and I'm like, oh, I think Newt lives there. We thought for a minute, I'm like, is this movie supposed to be in Pennsylvania? I don't think this big giant glass house. Like, Willow Grove is not a rural area around here. Also note, the son is coping with his mother's death by being like real into death.
Yes.
What was he? He was like, "Yeah, my mom burned to death," and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
He was making a recording in the beginning when he said, "Oh yeah, there was a guy without a head behind the Dunkin' Donuts,"
and it was like decapitated. Like,
and they're all playing along with it and like actually teaching him.
Apparently that's healthy. I guess it's a
really
healthy
into
way for a young kid to deal with death. I don't know. I was just like, hey, where did my grandmother's mother go, huh? She's just gone. So, yeah, that's my next note. I really like Tony Shalhoub. He's a really good actor. Do you guys not like Tony Shalhoub?
I do, but I wouldn't make a note like that.
By the way, okay, so you see this movie, this poster, there's like a girl's face. You kind of get the idea that like Shannon Elizabeth is going to be the star of this movie. She's 100% not the star of this movie.
No,
it's Tony
it
Shalhoub.
is.
They went all in on Tony Shalhoub, and I'm for that. I loved him since Men in Black.
She's like barely in it too.
Shannon Elizabeth?
Yeah.
She did,
There's
they
maybe,
take
like,
her out pretty early.
4 scenes total, maybe like that, where like she's like the focus.
Yeah. I thought there'd be more.
He was great in Men in Black. He's the guy whose head grows back. Monk was really good. He
That's
was
mainly
in
what I know him from is Monk.
Yeah, he was in a show that came out a few years ago that fucking no one watched. It was a miniseries. It was called Brain Dead. Nothing to do with the movie. Mary Elizabeth Winstead was in it. Mary Elizabeth Ramona Flowers. Mm-hmm. It was about like alien ants that come to Earth and are trying to take over by brainwashing the government. So aliens are taking politicians, taking their brains out and putting them in, and Tony Shalhoub is like a Republican whose brain that they go in. But you find out, this show's great. So the king alien and the queen alien are at odds with how they're going to rule the world. So they're going to the Democratic and Republican Party. And they're still arguing. So like the whole message of the show, like no matter where you go in the universe, there's people who don't get along. Anyway, Tony Shalhoub was great. He was like the main bad guy in it. He was so awesome in it. Tony Shalhoub, great actor. Come on the show, please. Also, big fan of his first name. It's a good name. Oh, the ghost rights activist lady starts gearing up with Dynamite. I don't think you're
It was
supposed
so
to.
random.
Montage.
Yeah, it's like a
It was so
montage
dumb.
set to some fucking song, but I don't think you're supposed to put sticks of dynamite in a bag and just like throw them over your shoulder and start running. Like, isn't that temperamental?
What are you gonna do with it? Was she gonna blow up the house? Because like obviously we find out later that like that's not actually what's going down.
It's
but
a little
like
confusing. It's a little Johanna. The movie's a little confusing.
a little.
So they get to the house and like,
Sweet key, by the way.
oh yeah, the key is
big
like
key.
it's like a scary key.
Scary.
So the house is made of glass. Not the Glass House starring Lily Sobieski.
I love her.
This is a different. What is she? She has not been.
She hasn't been in it, yeah. But
Yeah, so they go to this big glass house. This would look cool as like a museum or an art installation. I wouldn't really want to live in
No.
it. Because they're like, oh, we all have our own rooms. It's like, yeah, that everyone can look into. This is kind of creepy.
taking a shower, like they gonna see.
Yeah.
It's so claustrophobic too. Those are not large hallways.
Yeah.
And the doors, the way they shut, I'm sorry, but if there's no handle on a door, I'm freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. I
Also,
get
like,
it's
Very
big.
claustrophobic. No.
I understand that the like Latin's written on the walls too, but if I get drunk, I'm gonna be walking into the walls.
Yeah.
It's a fun house.
Like,
It
why not
looks like a straight up fun house.
If I look at that, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I don't want to live here. I'm just going to flip it and sell it. All
Yeah.
right, bye.
Knock it down, sell the land.
Just sell it as a museum at that point.
Or
'cause of
someone
all
would
the
buy it. It's
architects.
like a weird thing. Yeah, but they're really psyched about it.
And they also show up and there's a power guy outside. That was the
Yes.
first thing before they even walked in with the lawyer.
yes, with this, which is Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
Also, the
You're
digital
like, wait a minute, that's not a power guy.
the digital house matte shot painting is not very good. It's not as bad here as it is later in the
I
movie.
laughed so hard at that one. It's so bad.
So yeah, Matthew Lillard's like, I gotta do the breakers. It's putting power out to the whole thing, and it's like you can just drive around and see he's lying. Like, what are you talking about?
But why is the lawyer fighting him so hard on it when he knows who he is?
Well, he's saying like he. Yeah, it's a little
It's
confusing.
weird. Yeah.
It's
And-
a little. I can see he's like, oh, I heard because later on he's like, oh, they told me about him, but then he seems to
knows
be a
who he
little
is.
bit more involved in this plot.
And
It's
also, you can
stupid.
tell the lawyer is evil because when he's driving, you can always tell he's evil when there's that light going across the eyes.
Yeah, he has the
And he
Morticia
also
Adams
has
light.
it. He does. And then he has so many side smirks to the camera.
Oh yeah.
There is
Yeah.
so many of them. And I'm like, oh, he's the bad guy, guys. If
Yeah.
you didn't catch this.
But yeah,
So corny.
he lets him in even though he doesn't want to, and they're like exploring the house. We see all the artifacts. I think one of them is the Highlander sword, which we have in the closet over there. It's a Sean Connery sword that he gives to Christopher Lambert.
Connery.
Yeah, and like,
That's the one I gave you, right?
yeah, you're like, do you know what this is? I'm like, that's the Highlander
no.
sword.
My ex-boyfriend gave it to me, and I'm like, oh, this looks like that thing. I'm giving it to Tony.
It's a knockoff. It's
I like
not.
that you re-gift gifts from your exes.
It's a knockoff. It's the head of the dragon is a little different than what it looks like in the movie, but it's close enough.
You also regifted a gift that he gave you to me.
We're not mentioning that one.
Amazing.
We're not mentioning that one.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, my next note is Shannon Elizabeth's rack is looking fine as hell, but we already mentioned that earlier. Matthew Lillard figures out his name is so hard to say fast.
Matthew
Just say Matthew.
Shaggy. He figures out that there's ghosts in the basement. They're just being held there, just like a prison, I guess. And these ghosts just hang around, just staring at things. Like it seems.
Why did he know to put his glasses on when he had no idea the ghosts were there?
He had a psychic thing.
Plot?
He didn't. Because he's going down there like... and everyone carries these glasses around. Did everyone expect these ghosts to be down there? Because clearly no one did in
Yeah.
the plot. But then they just have the glasses in their pockets.
Yeah, the glasses are just kind of
In their
sprinkled around the
pockets.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, the one kid's room, it's like a bunch of toys and then the glasses.
Yeah. But yeah, he breaks character basically, and he's like, hey, I'm not an electrician. Tony Shalhoub, you got to get out of here. Come on, Monk, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Let's go, Monk.
Yeah, and the lawyer's like, I know about you. You're up to no good or whatever. And then he starts like freaking out because of all his psychic powers. Let me see. But at some point, the lawyer like goes downstairs to get like money, and he's like making fun of the ghosts on the way.
Yeah.
I think he compliments Big Titty Ghost, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
nice tits.
What are you staring at? Hey, kiddo. Thinks I'm gonna duck. Hey, nice tits. Whoa! jeez, you.
The guy said that in Ghost Ship when he's looking at the Italian girl.
Yes, he did.
What was this director's name again? Steve Beck.
Hits.
Steve Beck, we gotta have you on the show. I agree with a lot of the decisions you make in these two films that you did. I can't believe in 2 movies a guy says that to a ghost and then, like, well, I guess he does get killed by her. He just recycled himself 1 movie later.
What came first, Ghost Ship or 13
This is
Ghosts?
13 Ghosts.
Huh.
Yeah, Crystal, they're not making 13 Ghosts on the back of Ghost Ship. They're making Ghost Ship on the back of 13 Ghosts.
I guess whatever works.
It did work. It was very important to the plot.
Clearly.
The revenge.
But yeah, he grabs the bag of money and he inadvertently releases all the ghosts. Well, not all of them. They're like on a timer. So he releases the girl, right?
Yes. But how did you not know it was on these pedals? Don't you see a weird suitcase
Greed.
on top?
Greed.
Just didn't see
Money
anything
makes
else.
people like evil. Yeah, it gets to their head. You know, they make a lot of money, they become really famous, and they turn into real assholes.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Tony.
Yeah, what? No. I am very, very, shut up. Anyway. So, Big Titty Ghost Girl comes out.
Woo!
Yeah.
She's considered the angry princess is her ghost name.
Right. We're getting up to the part where they name all of them, and we have the list of names. So she's like scaring him, and he's like, "Oh no, please don't kill me!" And then the glass door, which
Love it.
had razor blades built into it, just slices him in half, like this way. I forget what they call that. There's a word. There's a word for that. Anyway, he gets like sliced in half, and it's actually probably one of the best slice in halves I've ever seen in a movie because like the front part falls down.
I love it, and it's still there. You see the skull and all.
Yeah, you see like the
whole
skull.
body, and I was like, it's my favorite kill in the entire movie.
I think the funniest thing about 13 Ghosts and Ghost Ship, they both have that one set thing you remember that's a kill.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Slice.
Yeah.
Because Ghost Ship was the wire.
Ghost Ship was the wire.
The other
And then this one's the kink.
Yeah, this one was less complicated. The wire, it was like, wait a minute. What? So, you know, Ghost Girl decides she's got to take a bath, and Shannon Elizabeth decides she needs to run a bath and just throw water on her face.
Just her face.
I'm okay with that.
Is that a chick thing? What is that?
I don't know. She's probably tired and trying to just wake up a little.
I've never
I think they were just looking for an excuse to use the bathtub just to have the ghost girl laying in it because like the sink is right there too. Like
I guess it seemed weird to me.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
But then like Ghost Girl goes to stab her, then doesn't.
Yeah, like somebody walks in, right?
Yeah, but then like can't the ghost powers in this are a little inconsistent.
So same thing in Ghost Ship.
So was that ghost just not gonna do anything if Shannon Elizabeth just wasn't near the tub? Like,
That's what I was. She walks right by her, looks at herself in the mirror. I love the scene that you actually see the blood in her vision of what it actually looks like, and it's something's actually written down on the floor.
It's like I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, because she like killed herself or something. Yeah,
and she actually says it a lot too. If you actually like listen to it when she's like whenever she's walking around, whatever, you can hear her saying "I'm sorry."
Oh really? I didn't know that.
I tried to like look up if that actress was in like anything. She like disappeared off the face of the earth.
Really?
Like, I mean, she was very hot. She probably just married some rich guy and just
good for her.
Buggered off. I don't know.
She's very hot.
Because I'm like, clearly they would have put her in things like, does she do conventions? Because she's like one of the most memorable ghosts. And I'm realizing now as we're talking about it, we probably can't even show most of her clips. But like, I can't find
cosplay of her though too. I see tons of people cosplaying of her.
I can't find any information on this actress. I don't know.
Interesting. Oh, it does say I did write that down. I'm sorry, written down on the floor. Yeah. I did take notes.
So then the little boy is riding a scooter around. Big fan of when movies use scooters. Because of my senior thesis, that's what it was built around, scooter riders. Anyway, so the ghosts start like luring him into the basement, but then another ghost is like, don't go into the spooky basement. And everything else is like, come into the spooky basement. And the kid's stupid, so he goes into the spooky basement.
Yeah, kids.
And then Maggie has like a really good one-liner when they're talking about like they need to get together and stuff and get out. And she's like, did the lawyer split?
That made me laugh.
That's a good one.
I actually laughed at that. I was like, that's what it's like. That is good.
Also, where's his body at this point, too? Because wouldn't somebody see that?
They find it later.
That's right, they do.
Find it later. They're walking over.
right.
Oh, there he is.
We'll say that he looked better earlier or something like that. And by the way, Dennis, aka Shaggy, just has a completely different outfit. He is in the orange jumpsuit.
Under the
he
jumpsuit.
is sweating. He was throwing up earlier. Vomit is all over
they
his
linger on his
outfit.
drool for like a long
There's
time.
a lot
in
of
one
drool,
scene.
a lot of sweat.
And then he looks great.
And then he looks fantastic. I was like, wow, okay. Someone showered and maybe put on Cyrus clothes? I don't know.
But yeah, he's like giving exposition. He's like, oh, he was bad. He was capturing ghosts. And the kid's running away from all the other ghosts. But then...
just massaging his temple with a pill bottle.
Yes.
I was like, okay, druggie.
The kid like gets knocked out. And then he sees another ghost. And who is it?
His mother.
Why'd you say it so weird? It's his mom, and she's all burnt up, and I'm like, that's pretty brutal.
You know what,
Walking
too?
with an IV.
The burns weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be.
No.
It should just look like Toothface. Like
That's exactly, just half her face was burnt.
Well, I mean,
and it wasn't even that, like, okay, like, I mean, it was a pretty bad burn, whatever, but, like, I don't think you would die from
probably
that.
like smoke inhalation fucked up her lungs and stuff.
But she died in the hospital, clearly. So
I'm sorry, what do you guys know about like burns and burn wards and how they work?
do you know?
Am I talking to doctors here?
Are you arguing with us?
Yeah.
And you don't know anything either? Shut up.
I'm not pretending to know. But yeah, then we get the biggest twist that Dr. Satan, who was it? Barry Abraham. Yeah, he's a ghost and he's in the house. And everyone just goes, yeah, that seems about right. We were all expecting that. We were actually waiting for you to get around.
So the group is down in the basement, and they decided it's a great idea to split up. Because that's what you do in horror films.
Oh,
you split up.
This is a horror movie? I thought this was a teen rom-com.
My favorite thing about them splitting up is they clearly see that the house is moving around. They're like, yeah, we'll just meet back in 5. What if the wall moves and you can't do anything? What are you doing?
It's not like they're not. Oh, you walk right down a straight path, and then we're going to walk right back.
Makes no freaking sense.
I don't want to give credit to a movie I hate, but at least in Alien versus Predator, the pyramid was shifting and separated the characters. Like that's what like the characters didn't decide to split up. They were forced to separate by the pyramid. You easily could have had something where like the house is shifting and I can't get through this wall. I'll find you. We'll go through here or whatever. The whole like, oh, this place is too big. Let's split up. And it's like, how about you don't? How about you?
Never.
Could you not? Seems pretty dangerous. I do like they see the ghost with all the spikes in him.
Yes.
And Matthew Lillard like flips him off.
They wait for you to stick your face right up against the glass, and then they give you a big fat boom.
But then he gets a premonition of his own death.
Yes.
Yeah, which he's not happy about. I imagine I would not be happy about if I saw a premonition of my death. I don't know about you guys.
No.
It's time to go. It's time to go.
And then the jackal shows up, who Johanna told us was evil because his mother was a lady of the evening.
Yeah.
And he shows up and he's like, my mother was a lady of the evening. I gotta kill Shannon Elizabeth.
And slice her on her boobs.
Like my girlfriend was going through the trivia and they're like, they say you can see her nipple. And I'm like, I doubt it.
I think I saw that too, actually.
I mean,
like not physically seen it, but I think I saw the trivia.
We might have American Pie in here. I think I can see her nipple pretty easily. Well, we have American Pie too. I don't know if she was naked in that one. But yeah, he's like ripping at her like shirts, but like just her shirt.
Just the boot. Like,
yeah, and it's kind of an exciting scene because the jackal is pretty terrifying. I think that was the one that scared me the most as a kid, just because he's really scary.
Just like that head in a box. You're like, holy shit.
That's what they used to have in mental asylums. Stop you from getting bit or to protect the people.
He was in a straight jacket too, right?
Yeah. It wasn't secured pretty well. I'm guessing that's how he got out. She is being attacked and she gets saved by Ghost Rights Girl who throws a flare at it.
Yeah.
Apparently the ghosts are scared of flares.
So wait, was that dynamite or was that flares?
It was a flare.
No. Like in the beginning, remember? Because you said that she was packing dynamite.
I think she was also packing dynamite.
Okay.
Yeah. It was both.
Guys, this movie's a little hard to follow. So anyway, this is when we get our exposition dump. Another one. A lot of exposition dumps here. I skipped over a couple of Tony Shalhoub telling the guy like what happened to him. It's like, we know. But she's like, yeah, this is like a machine. This whole thing. It's like a power thing. And it's powered by the ghosts. And it's made by the devil. And while this is happening, Shannon Elizabeth gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
Doesn't scream or anything. No one hears her.
No.
Does she get teleported? What happened there?
I'm still confused of how she got in, though, because I know they said, there was a hole somewhere she got in, and now it's closed up.
Well, with the twist, we kind of figure out how she got in when the twist is revealed with her character. I think she was let in. So after that little bit of an exposition dump, that girl's not done with her exposition. She's got more exposition.
So much exposition.
But Matthew Lillard's got to fight a greaser.
Yeah.
Well, Rod Digga is making like sassy wisecracks, I guess. He's fighting her greaser.
That's all she does throughout the entire. I mean, I love her lines.
They're pretty great. They're pretty great. I'll give her that.
But they forced that sassy black woman role on that, and I was like, oh, why are you forcing this so hard?
Hey, she owned it pretty well.
She owned it fantastically.
But yeah, so he fights the greaser ghost. I guess escapes at some point, and Tony Shalhoub and the other girl.
Prince?
Huh?
He's the Torn Prince?
Yeah. Again,
I want to know
the names don't make sense unless you buy the DVD and look for the special features. But they're heading to like the library because it has most of the like protection spells on it. And then more of the ghosts get out, or all of them, I think.
Yeah, I think at that point everybody's out.
Yeah, everyone's out, and they make it to the library. She berates Matthew Lillard for going through with this plan. And she's like, you just wanted money. And he says, like, if you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit of a freak.
Yeah.
And this is when he finds out, Tony Shalhoub finds out his wife is a spooky ghost. He's like, oh no, the spooky ghost is my wife?
I know.
Okay.
No, something he doesn't find out until later.
No, he finds out that because she goes, oh, you did, because they're trying to explain why he's actually there and what he has to do.
Right.
With it.
Never mind. I'm thinking about the.
Ooh.
Very unprofessional to hit the mic.
Rebel.
But yeah, they're like, your wife is a ghost. And she tells us the rest of the ghost names.
They find out, though, by her saying, oh, you didn't tell him to find out Matthew Lillard is actually, I like how we actually call him the actor name.
Oh,
Matthew Lillard himself,
you always write the character names down. I'm like, I can't be bothered.
Dennis.
I can't be bothered.
Author, Kalina, Dennis, Kathy, Bobby,
I literally have
Cyrus.
like the kid, Shannon Elizabeth, big titty ghost girl. Like,
I write their actor name and their character name. But
anyway.
So Dennis apparently went to the hospital and stole her soul. So now I'm believing that maybe Cyrus is the one that started the fire and that actually killed him on purpose because they knew that they were so in love. But how does he know? How does he know anything about his nephew?
He's a wizard.
He has a lot of money, so he hired a private investigator.
Go check out my nephew to see if he's happy.
He hacked into the mainframe computer. So anyway, the ghosts are the firstborn son. I think that is the kid with the arrow in the head.
And they're petrified of him, by the way. I don't know why. They are so scared of him every time they see him. More scared than the other ones.
The torso, which I think is the least scary one. It's just the guy who was cut up and put in saran wrap. Yeah. Everyone gets scared when he shows up. I'm like, that's the easiest one to run around. You can kick his head away from him. Also, how is he getting around? Does he have to like keep grabbing every single body part and move it to a room and then wait for someone to come and go, and then pick it all up again and scoot to another room?
What's a bad one?
The bound woman.
You don't see much of her
Which
at
one
all.
was that?
I can't. Oh my God!
Was that the one that was in like the thing, or the one who was hung?
Hung.
That's the bound.
Yeah,
woman.
she has like that. It's a tie.
Okay. Okay.
She looked.
She was the one who was messing with the little boy, right?
I don't know.
I don't think I saw who actually was messing with the little boy.
You can't remember.
Her
I literally just watched this last night.
Yeah. The withered lover, which is the spooky ghost mom. The torn prince, which is Greaser, right?
Greaser, yeah.
Yeah. They do, I'm forgetting now, but the movie does make a point to flash to a bunch of characters every time they're saying their name.
Every time they mention them, they go through this list twice and they flash to them each time.
the angry
case you
princess, which is
Boob
big,
girl.
big titty goth, big titty goth girl, just big titty ghost girl. The pilgrimess, that's the girl in like the Thing.
Yes.
Where she's like that, yeah.
She's an older woman.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
The great child and the dire mother.
Such a
It's like,
interesting. I kind of liked it, but it was weird.
do they die at the same time? And
So I know the backstory of this.
oh, tell us, please.
All right, so basically the giant man, because they were in a circus, because obviously, she's tiny or whatever. Giant man rapes her.
Oh.
And the baby was born of that.
Okay.
And he was very complicated to have because she's so tiny. And he was already big when she gave birth and everything. But basically, she just babies the hell out of him.
Okay.
And he pretty much keeps the mindset of being a child.
Oh.
And I forget what exactly happens, but then the mom gets killed.
Okay.
And then the baby goes on like a rampage and kills everybody, but then obviously they kill him because, yeah.
Okay.
So it was like kind of like the same time they died, but not really.
Okay.
So yeah.
Interesting.
And then we get
A lot of them are like, I'm like, I watched that movie.
Yeah, I want to see these as movies.
whoever came up with the backstories knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
and then it's just, and then when you watch the movie, it's just like, he's scary. and then the hammer,
effects and
which
the
is the guy
costume.
with all the nails in him.
Yeah.
The jackal, which we mentioned, is the mental asylum guy, and the juggernaut, which is the big tall dude.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. Those are their names.
And they look fantastic, though. They really look.
the makeup effects in this are great.
great.
The
I think that's
effect-
what sold me the most on the movie. I'm like, while it's kind of shitty, it looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does
It
look
was
really,
the
really
ghost
good.
that, literally, the 13 ghosts that sold.
I think
or the 12
Roger
ghost.
Ebert apparently put this on one of his most hated lists.
Yeah, I saw that.
But he even said that it looked really nice. And like
Yeah.
it looked really well put together. He didn't like the editing, which I get. The editing is very, I'm not like, photosensitive or whatnot. But if you are, I
yeah,
can
the
see how
strobe lights.
this movie
Yeah.
strobes a lot. But yeah, it is kind of the editing with the whole constantly like, there's a ghost. Like, there's never just like a ghost is there. It's just constantly cutting back and forth.
A lot of jump scares. Lots and lots of jump scares.
Yeah. If the machine gets powered and the 13th ghost jumps into it or whatever, the person with the or the 13th ghost is a failsafe or something?
Yes.
What was the failsafe again? Like
12 ghosts, once the machine starts, the 12 ghost activates the, what was it in Latin? The Eye of Hell, was it?
Yeah, it was something the Eye of Hell, yeah.
And whoever controls that controls the universe.
yeah, because you could see the past, present, future, and
Everything.
stuff.
Even though I think so can Dennis there. He can do the same
free.
damn thing. Exactly.
I think you have better control. You don't like spaz out every time you use it. I think that's his problem. He's like, I'm going to control the universe. Like, all right, there's the good controller of the universe over there.
And the only way to stop that is to sacrifice a person that is with a broken heart, basically.
Okay.
And it has to be for like an act of love too,
an
right?
act of love, yeah.
Right,
So
right.
it's kind of like, reminds me of Avengers when Black Widow like sacrifices herself. I'm like, really?
Yes. And like she's like, Tony Shalhoub, you're gonna have to do it because your kids are taken from you, and that's the only way to save your kids is to sacrifice yourself. And Matthew Lillard's like, that don't make no sense. Like, what are you talking about? That's stupid.
But no one knows that they're taken or anything. They're just lost. Everyone is just lost. And poor freaking Maggie, who's the babysitter, she's also lost. No one mentions her. No one mentions
shit about
Maggie.
Yeah, whatever, Maggie. That's real nice. But then Ghost Rights Girl is like, we're gonna get some dynamite and blow this place up. Let's find your kids and blow this place sky high. It's like, oh,
Which makes no sense because she just keeps saying it's the only way. It's the only way. So does he sacrifice himself and then she blows the place up?
I don't know.
Like, what was their goal?
Joanna, do you have any insight on this? You were able to crack the code on Ghost
This
Ship.
one, I don't know. Even later on with the one scene, I'm like, why is this even happening? It doesn't make sense for this to happen.
And she also says she has enough dynamite to push or to blow them up into like the 15th century or something like that. I looked at the dynamite on the table. I was like,
I don't think that's enough.
that doesn't look like a good amount, especially when you can't break those windows at all whatsoever.
So they start going around looking for the kids, and I like that they just have one of the glass walls, which was there an extra? Where did they get that from? Did something break off?
They like hinged it off, but if it's that easy to remove the walls, you would think you would be able to get around that place a little easier.
Open the front door.
Yeah, but I like how they're using it like a shield against the ghost.
It was so you can be protected by, because you are only protected if you're on, the Latin is on all sides of you.
Yeah.
And how were you planning on actually using that besides shoving yourself in a corner where there's Latin? Just happened to be corner of Latin. Because it's not protecting you by itself. And they also have to carry it with 2 hands.
Yeah, it sucks. It that would suck to do. Just like,
I'm sorry, but they can attack you on the sides there and on the back. And
yeah, Ghost is coming from you from back there to kill you. But while they're doing that, it turns out Ghost Rights Girl is in cahoots with F. Murray Abraham. Yes. Oh no!
I actually did when that happened. I was very confused because none of it made sense and there was no lead up to it at all.
Nothing.
It was so weird. I'm just kind of like, all right.
She turns into like a weird, she seems like a high school girl with her first boyfriend or something.
She's like slobbing on him too. Like,
She's like, oh, Cyrus, I killed that guy for you and I got him here. Did I do a good job? It's like, oh, where's the spells?
How are you that obsessed? The other person, I think, was her husband that he killed.
I think so.
Husband or boyfriend, something like that, definitely. But yeah.
Don't you think there would be some type of revenge or something instead of going on his side of trying to release souls?
She killed the guy.
Why are you so mad at me? I did everything you asked me to do. I killed Damon. I stole his spells. I even made sure your pathetic nephew didn't get himself killed.
The Juggernaut gets released during this, and I think the Juggernaut kills him just like his premonition told him it would.
It's like throwing him around, breaks his back against the corner.
And then Cyrus does a spell that summons all the ghosts to the spinny room. Mm-hmm. There was a spinny room. We forgot to mention that. There's a room that just has things spinning.
And it has all the markings of the zodiacs on it too.
Right. And all the ghosts are there, including his wife.
Not yet.
Oh, wait, that's right.
No, not yet.
That's right. No. Because she talks to him. Because she could just...
Does she talk?
Yeah.
So after Dennis gets murdered by the hammer...
then she shows up.
She can't talk. She can't talk. That's where I got confused. She was talking earlier to the son, trying to warn him, and then she sees Tony Shalhoub, and she's like...
Yeah, because she's completely silent during that scene. She just kind of walks up, and it's like, sad.
Yeah.
And
he wants to touch her. I think he can touch her because she's wearing the glasses, but he doesn't go, you're still behind the wall. You know she's not evil. Why don't you just go behind your glass wall and touch? Because there is a moment where they're touching each other through the glass.
Yeah.
Just put your hand around the glass.
Well, he doesn't know what she's doing in the afterlife.
Oh my God.
What if she's evil now?
So anyway.
Oh, well, they're also playing a record, by the way.
Yeah, the spell, yeah.
That's when she disappears when they're about to touch each other. Then she goes up to the room.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you know what? I think they were communicating to the kid through his little speaker. I think that because he had that microphone with the speaker. I think that's how he was hearing them. So maybe she can't talk to him directly.
But she does later, kind of.
Yeah, she does.
Well, that was after the evilness goes away.
Whatever. They talked. Whatever.
But you can hear them screaming, though.
Yeah.
You don't need a speaker to hear them scream and freak the fuck out.
Guys, I don't know how the ghosts work in this. Like, it's a little all over the place, all right? What is bizarre is F. Murray Abraham just turns on Ghost Right Girl. She
served her purpose.
She's like, what are you doing? He's like, whatever. But then the glass comes in. And so the split in half effect, great, earlier. The glass comes in and it just starts squeezing, and it's such a weird digital effect where her eyes getting bigger. It's so bad. We never get to see it pop.
You don't. That's actually disappointing.
I was expecting blood to
all
squirt
the
out.
budget was on the split.
Yes.
No, what I realized there's only there was 2 deaths so far in the house. All the other deaths were in the very first scene.
Yeah. There's 3 deaths.
There's not a big body count in this.
Not during
and then there's only one more after this, right?
There's only one more after this, yeah. It's weird,
wow,
right?
Yeah. Wow.
You think they would try to fill more?
You would think.
Oh, and Matthew Lillard died.
Yeah,
yeah.
The lawyer, Matthew Lillard, her.
That's it.
And then there's one more death coming up.
And then there's one more after that,
Yeah.
Weird.
You would think, because he keeps saying, greatness requires sacrifice. Greatness requires sacrifice. You think there'd be a lot more sacrificing going on.
Tony Shalhoub finds his kids. They're in the middle of the spinning room in a horrible CGI effect that has not aged well.
Razor blade type things, kind of, but like they're the circular things.
I get the idea. It has not aged well. And then they keep showing underneath with all the gears and stuff, and it just looks like a video game. It looks so bad.
It reminded me of Silent Hill at that point.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, the blades spinning, I'm like, they're so obviously on a green screen. It's hard to like really get into it because it's like, it's taking me out of the movie. But Tony Shalhoub realizes Cyrus is not a ghost. He like takes the glasses off.
Can we just say
he leans and looks over down the hallway because he's just standing in the hallway for some reason.
Yeah, he's just standing there. Oh, and there also you hear Kalina's having the background again.
Who's Kalina?
What did you?
The Ghost Rights girl.
Ghost Rights. Jesus.
So Kalina, she retells her story so many times, and there's just a voiceover of all the ghosts again, in case you forgot.
In case
what they look like.
What was the running time?
It was.
Maybe it just wasn't long enough, and they were.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, why did you have to explain again who everyone was?
Because it's 91 minutes.
Kalina's voice.
they needed it a little bit longer.
Annoying.
They go through it again. He's like counting as they're doing it.
What about the 13?
And then he realizes and then looks down the hallway and Cyrus is there and he takes off his glasses and he's like,
beats the shit out of him.
You're not a ghost.
He like beats the shit out of him and then like he's doing his bad guy speech, but what is the only thing that could stop the power of hell and ghost?
The sacrifice.
No. It's Rod Digga messing with the audio.
Sounded like a DJ.
I'm like, all right. I like that. I like that.
Loved that.
It just came out of nowhere.
I was like, I'll break it down.
So doing that sets the ghost free. But the blades are all still spinning, and their first thing is like, well, we got to throw F. Murray into the blades, clearly. And they throw him, he just gets spliced up.
No blood around the children, though.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
That was weird, because they should be just sprayed in blood.
There was none.
So
now
the thing's still going, right?
Yeah.
This is the part where I was like, what is the point of this scene? I don't get it. Like, I really don't understand why Tony Shalhoub had to jump in there with his kids, because the thing ended up just stopping and breaking anyway.
Oh, also,
but I guess
there's that.
Yeah, I guess they could have got hurt if they were, but yeah.
Nothing happened. Nothing fell on them or anything. It literally, he just did it to do it.
Because Dennis was there telling him to do it for some odd reason.
He showed up
Dennis was as like freaking Star Wars comes back from the dead.
He's like,
but you don't see the lawyer come back from the. Was it because he's a psychic? Like what the fuck? And he's there saying, what did he say? Oh, you have the power within yourself to go save your children.
To miraculously jump fast enough to where you don't get stabbed.
Look, there was pauses. With
which didn't happen before, though, right?
Suddenly it was making sense, and
it starts to pause. So he had enough time to jump.
Yeah. So he grabs the kids. They all get out of there. Everything blows up. Because it's a movie.
Yeah.
And then we see the ghost like outside, and they're all just walking from the digital map painting to a digital farce, and then the juggernaut walks around and goes, and then disappears. That's always my favorite part, when he's just like, oh, I gotta look at the camera and do a little dance.
It's fantastic.
That's what I want to do. When I die, I want to be a ghost in here. I want to be a ghost in here. And every time you guys...
Why would you come here?
Because the show's going to keep going. Oh, you think you think the show dies with me? You guys are stuck here, all right?
YouTube somehow like it's replaced by some other thing or whatever. You're on there too.
Trina, you're going to be doing the show when you're like 80, okay? And at the end of every episode, you're going to leave, and it's just going to be me as a ghost going, ha, 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 ha.
Can we make this happen sooner?
Well, there is a weapons closet.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all the ghosts are still ugly monsters, except for the mom.
And then she's talking to them.
And then she can talk.
She's not actually talking. She's just...
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm a ghost mom.
I love you guys.
Bye. She's like, this is like that scene in Casper. Bye.
I love that scene. I love Casper.
So stupid.
I fucking love Casper.
And then she leaves, and then it ends with Rah Digga quitting her job and yelling at everything. I'm like, that's a great way.
How the hell did she survive, first of all? Because
Followed
she's
by-
literally in there.
Yeah, wait. So, you know what I think? I think that scene might have been meant for earlier because, yeah, she shouldn't be there because it all blew up.
Literally, that's the room that blew up.
But they thought it was funnier to end the movie on it, so they just used it. She might have even died in the original cut. We don't know. Are you dying?
You okay?
I have like a tickle in my throat and it won't go away.
Tony that needs to die, not
You were yelling at
you.
me earlier for sneezing and stuff.
Yeah, but your sneezes.
Johanna, this is a podcast now, and people are going to drive in their car, and they're going to hear you going,
Yes, that's exactly how I sounded.
and then they're going to go, ew, gross, and they're going to go on their phone and switch to another thing, and then they're going to drive into a truck full of blood and die.
And then the movie's going to start.
Yes.
So if you or a loved one died while switching the podcast because of Johanna, please let us know.
I mean, your first mistake was listening to it.
Yes.
Don't say that, you asshole. So it doesn't just end with Rah Digga complaining. It ends with a
one of
Rah
her
Digga
songs.
song.
Yes, it does.
The mirror.
Mirror,
something.
mirror.
I could not tell you one song this woman has done. I don't remember her from that time. Was she big? I remember like Missy Elliott and all those.
She wasn't that big. She wasn't mainstream big.
Okay.
But I think she's actually from Newark, New Jersey.
She wasn't like Aaliyah, Queen of the Damned.
No.
big, right?
No. She wasn't mainstream. She was more like
another movie
That's
I
like
really
the same
love.
studio too. Where is it? We have it here somewhere. We have Queen of the Damned. We might need to visit Queen of the Damned. I think
Please?
it ranked pretty well
Please?
when I checked last.
Didn't I ask you to?
Yeah. Anyway, that was 13.
Oh my God, you got Swim Fan over there too. Why do I love shitty movies?
That's from the new. Oh, I added new tapes since Joe gave us his tape collection. I got rid of some of the stupid ones. Also, I don't know if you can tell. I posted a picture of this on Patreon. I brought in all my signed DVDs, and I put them here. You can get a closer look at that on Patreon. Anyway, this movie's stupid, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so stupid.
Maybe it's that thing, like, we were the right age. This is like us in our teens watching this, and
No one who has not seen it before is going to like it. They're going to be like, what the hell is this?
yeah, it's better than Ghost Ship, even though that's your favorite.
How dare you? I'm leaving.
Even though that's your favorite movie of all time.
How dare you? How dare you?
It's better than Ghost Ship.
How dare? No, it's not.
I don't know. I enjoy because, like I said, I'm a big fan of House on Haunted Hill. So all the movies that were kind of made like 13 Ghosts and shit, I kind of like that era of the WB Ghost movie where it's like, we're going to do Ghosts, but they're going to be like insane, awesome makeup effects and state-of-the-art CGI, which I'm sure will never age. It definitely aged. So I'm a little nostalgic for it, but if someone were to tell me like, hey, that movie's really bad, I'd be like, well, yeah,
no
can't
shit.
argue with you there.
No shit.
They're like, but you like it? I'm like, yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
It's fun. It's just fun with awesome effects.
Guys, there's a lot of movies I know are shit that I like. I mean, what's some shit that I like? I like Highlander 2, and that movie's awful. I should hate that movie.
Mummy Cop. Getting
Mummy
on the
Cop's
slide.
not a movie. Getting on the Slide is great. Okay, I passed my senior thesis course with that movie. Anyway, any last things to say about 13 Ghosts? What could have made this movie better for you?
More boobs.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah. More angry princesses. Yeah.
Can we get Steve?
Shannon Elizabeth's boobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we get
Yeah.
Steve back out of retirement? And be like, you guys.
Can he come on the show?
Yeah.
Can he call in? I love him.
I want to be like, hey man, I think you got one more Ghost movie left in you.
Yeah.
We'll make it
I
for
would
you.
go and watch that opening day. I don't care.
Same.
I want it to be called Boobs. So it's B-O and then a picture of two boobs and then O-B-S.
Is that bad? That's actually how I imagined it when you said it. Like,
Or you know what? It's just called Boobs, but it's the calculator version where it's 80085.
Oh my God.
that would
And
be
it could be like
amazing.
about cyber ghosts.
You know what?
That's actually
That'd be really nice.
You know what? It's not bad.
Steve Beck, we'll write it for you. We will write it for you.
I mean, there's tons of ghost softcore porn. That was the softcore porn the first one I've ever seen was Ghost in a Teeny Bikini.
Whoa. Steve Beck, who worked for Warner Brothers and Dark Castle Entertainment, is not doing softcore porn, okay? He's making legit films that feature very well-endowed women. They don't have to be softcore porn. Let's not be perverts here, okay? We just want a bunch of ghost boobs.
With more boobs. That's all. That's all we want. It's boobs.
And Tony Shalhoub.
And Tony, yeah.
Tony
okay,
Shalhoub.
Fine. We could do more of
Tony
him.
Shalhoub.
So yeah, if you like tits, follow us on Patreon. Check out the podcast feed. You can listen to us talk about boobs and imagine what they look like if you haven't seen the movie.
Or if you've never seen boobs, you can try to figure out.
Seen boobs, maybe our description will really help. There's one guy in his car being like, "I've heard of them. I hear they're very nice."
Oh Jesus!
All shapes and sizes. They're all great.
It's true.
All of them are great.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. Anyway,
I appreciate
thank
all
you for
shapes
watching.
and sizes.
Please
You
like,
have no right.
Yeah.
please like, share, and subscribe, and check us out next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's no "I'll Stand" song in this.
Oh.